Remember when an episode of Sex and the City had you buying your first pack of cigarettes? Me too. Hi, it's Denise and welcome to whatever this is. Today's video is not about fanhood, just straight up identity theft, emotional osmosis, narrative possession. Because some of us didn't grow up with personality traits. We grew up with reruns. Is that too much? You can tell me if it's too much. So the first part of this video is me taking you through examples of my own cinematic sensory coming of age. In the second part, we'll unpack why this all sticks so hard. There's real psychology behind it. Who knew? Who knew? From how stories rewire our brains to how a character drinking coffee can actually change the way it tastes to you. I was raised by television characters, not literally, but emotionally.
Absolutely.
Years before Romanticize Your Life was a TikTok trend, I was already doing it. But we'll get there. Even before I understood what identity was, I was already assigning myself roles. For example, when Wings Club came on, I would shout, "I'm Musa!" like my life depended on it, because first one has dibs.
Those are the rules. I don't make them.
When my niece and I would play together, usually reenacting Barbie in The Princess and the Pauper like it was community theater, I would loudly claim the Pauper role before she even agreed on playing. I thought that was just how everyone did it. But recently, my niece told me that she would just go with it and didn't really care that much.
Liar.
Quick shout out here. Go give her a follow. She also started her YouTube adventure and it's going to be amazing. Anyway, fast forward a couple of years now. I'm a teenager who is freshly damaged by Twilight. The moment Edward Cullen walked in that cafeteria, it was over. Done. From then on, he was my fictional boyfriend. I'm not even exaggerating. My bedroom walls,
Shrine-like.
covered, top to bottom. There was no wall to be seen, my guy. Fully decorated with my two imaginary husbands, Edward Cullen and Chester Bennington. That's a whole other video. So I bought the same jacket that Edward was wearing in the Twilight movies, like the gray one. So we'd have something in common, I guess. Also, hot take, I hated Bella. I did not understand why people would ship them together. Of course, now I realize that was jealousy. Pure, uncut, teenage, emotional delusion. Because in my mind, he was with me.
My man.
So I started reading the books again, hard, this time hyper-focused on Robert Pattinson's music. Okay, wait, let me check. Yeah, it's still good though. Anyway, back to the point. I remember I was curating an entire personality around a fictional character. Until this day, whenever it rains, I feel an urge to rewatch the entire Twilight saga. Like my body remembers the ritual before my brain does. It's almost Pavlovian at this point. Alright, so fast forward a little bit. I'm in college. I studied film at the art school in Brussels, diving deeper into my cinematic obsession. Side note, I was very, very depressed at this point in my life, alright? I've seen dark days. Anyway, I started watching Sex and the City and oh my god. This series basically carried me through existential despair multiple times in that period. In my life, honestly. The music, the voiceover, the questionable fashion choices, the men, the relationships, the monologues. It was pure cinematic therapy. Honestly, it's amazing what a mid-2000 TV show can do to a woman on the verge. Naturally, my friends and I got deeply invested in the eternal question, who are you? Are you Carrie? Miranda? Are you Samantha? Are you Charlotte? And it's funny, I used to identify as a Carrie big time, but now she's probably the one I relate to the least.
It's called healing, my guy.
It's called ascending, learning and growing, all right? Whenever I was heartbroken, I would rewatch the entire series because it just made me feel better. I would imagine my heartbreak was like a plot point in the scene or like an episode in the series. It didn't necessarily make the pain go away, but it made it feel storied, less serious, a little bit lighter. I imagined it was just like a Carrie and Mr. Big breakup episode.
I am such an idiot!
What the fuck?
And then something weird happened, but I remember her seeing her smoke at her desk or have like a martini with Stanford, New York City apartment, and suddenly I'm craving a cigarette. did it. I bought a pack of cigarettes. I wasn't a smoker. I just felt like it was the last missing prop. I'd sit by my laptop in the dark, puffing dramatically beside Carrie. I wasn't even pretending anymore.
I was there with her.
I was in the show. It's like scratching an itch. I don't know, there's something like she's smoking and it looks so... Oh, you just want to experience that, you know? Anyway, fast forward a little bit. In come Peaky Blinders. First of all. Secondly, I developed a sudden interest in becoming a whiskey connoisseur. I did extensive research on single malts, learned the terminology, and spent far too long sourcing the perfect vintage glassware. The twist?
I don't even like whiskey.
I tried it, and I hated it, but I still bought the glasses.
Because I'm crazy.
Just for the aesthetic embodiment of the Shelbys, I guess. All right, next up, Gilmore Girls. Listen, I don't like black coffee, all right? I'm a sweet, milky, syrupy, foamy kind of girl. But the way Lorelai and Rory chugged it with such ritualistic pleasure.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to quit drinking coffee. And I love coffee.
It got to me. Till this day, whenever I'm watching Gilmore Girls, I'm drinking it black, my guy.
I'm drinking it black.
Somehow, it's not about consuming coffee, it's about consuming character. You know, the spark of this video came while rewatching Downton Abbey. I just finished watching it today and it made me cry. I still have the 2 movies I can watch, but...
Man.
Somewhere between the title sequence and Carson ringing the gong, I found myself scouring the internet for the perfect porcelain teacups, and of course, I bought them. Now that I have it, every episode is a full sensory ritual. I sit there, pinky slightly elevated, sipping Earl Grey like I didn't just move a dead body from Lady Mary's bedchambers. There's something about the weight of the cup, the clinking of the china, the sheer performative elegance of it all that just hits a part of my brain and says, yes.
This is who we are now.
And all of these are just a few examples, but it's just more than a bit, you know? What I'm trying to explain is this strange full body longing, not just for a setting, but for the pace, the language, the ritual of it all. Like, I'm nostalgic for an era and a life I never actually lived, and I don't feel like this with every show. But when something clicks,
It clicks hard.
and suddenly I'm not just watching, I'm borrowing the mood, I'm borrowing the aesthetic, the emotional tone of the entire world, and folding it into mine, just to see how it feels, just for a little bit. Alright, so before you think I'm weird,
Don't judge me, bitch.
and because I tend to spiral in self-reflection, I actually got curious. What exactly is this thing I'm doing? This deep immersion, this aesthetic mimicry. And here's what I found. First up, narrative transportation. So psychologists call this experience of becoming so absorbed in a story that your emotions and beliefs and values and sense of self momentarily align with a narrative. According to a Green and Brock's 2000 studies, I'll link the study below, people deeply transported into stories often adapt perspective and values, feelings of fictional characters. This isn't just imagination. Your brain is simulating experience, activating neural pathways as if you are living the story yourself. How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
Number 2, parasocial relationships. So we also form what psychologists call parasocial relationships. Basically, one-sided emotional bonds with characters or media figures.
They're not real relationships.
But our emotions are real. So when Edward Cullen walks into the cafeteria or shows us the skin of a killer, we don't watch.
We feel like we're with him.
That urge to wear his jacket, listen to his music, or stare longingly out into the forest, it comes from wanting to stay in sync with that emotional connection. Also, teenage hormones help. Thirdly, let's add ADHD to the mix. If you're neurospicy, which I am, our brains are already wired to chase stimulation, novelty, and patterns because it has to deal with low dopamine, boredom intolerance, and mood dysregulation. Let me read this. According to research in current psychiatry reports, people with ADHD often use media and aesthetic rituals to regulate dopamine. So when a situation feels flat or emotionally dull, your brain may not self-generate excitement easily. That's where narrative framing comes in, aka romanticize your life. Narrative framing, aka romanticize your life. I've been doing this for so many years without knowing this was a real thing. Example, when you're tired at dinner and you're with friends, your brain may not self-generate excitement easily. So you're in that situation and you think, okay, what if this was a Sex and the City scene? Suddenly, the wine glass is a prop, the mood is cinematic, and the conversation just feels stylized to hold your attention. Boom.
You're back in.
So it's using stories, visuals, mini performances to make life feel structured and sparkly again. If you do this,
Congrats!
you're not delusional, you're creative, probably neurodivergent, and using narrative psychology to stay engaged with your own life, which is kind of brilliant, honestly. So the next time you feel that weird craving watching a series or a show or a movie, just know your brain is doing something really cool. It's connecting you to a world you really care about. And if that gives you joy, that's something worth leaning into.
Maybe just with a bit of awareness if you're wanting to lean into smoking or whiskey drinking.
So now I'm curious, do you have any cravings watching a particular scene or movie or series? Please leave it down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. No pressure, just an open space if you want to stick around. Thank you for being here. I hope you have an amazing day and I hope to see you in my next video.